Okay, we are live. All right, stop that music. I think the system can hear me, so all is good. I hope this time we are in the group and not in the public domain. And I don't see anyone yet coming in, but I'm going to start anyway. So when you want to tap, there are a number of things to consider before you do, including when you come to a tapping circle. So I took some notes here. I just wanted to share and make sure that you have that information up front for next time. So the first thing to do is to make sure that you are in a calm space, that no one is going to disturb you, and maybe you even put a sign on the door, or you send a text message to your family member and say, family members, and say, don't disturb me for the next half hour or an hour. So first thing is calm space and privacy. Second thing is be comfortable. You can do this on the couch. I wouldn't do this on a bed, although you can do it lying down. Be comfortable. And the last thing that's also important is have water with you so you can drink and hydrate while we tap. Because we do some things with our nervous system that sometimes give us some dry mouth. Okay. So then once you have all that set, the second thing to do is to ground yourself. So I will just demo this, even if, whoever is watching this. I would invite you to put your 2 feet on the ground and to close your eyes and then start breathing in and out, and imagine that your breath is going through your heart area. So we're gonna feel our feet on the ground and relax our hands, close our eyes, and then inhale slowly and exhale. Yeah, there's 2 ways to exhale. You can exhale through your nose, mouth closed and relaxed. Or you can exhale through your mouth and purse your lips in a way that slows down the exhale, as if you were blowing through a straw. And that immediately calms the nervous system. I would invite you to keep going in and out of your chest through your heart, slowing down the breathing, noticing the space inside your feet, noticing the space inside your hands. I know it's a bit weird. Relaxing your tongue entirely at the floor of your mouth. And then notice the space behind your eyes. And as you continue breathing in and out slowly through your heart, start exploring the 5 senses. What you're feeling with your skin, the light that comes through your eyelids, the taste in your mouth, any smell. And what do you hear? The weight of your body on where you're sitting. And then we can expand to other senses. Feel your energy field around your body. And feel how it potentially expands when you inhale and contracts softly when you exhale. And tap into not just the five senses, but what other feelings you have of your environment, whether it's the room where you are in, or the building, or the town, the country, the continent. You can play a little bit with your energy field and expand it as much as you want, as fast as you want. And just let it go back to normal. And with the next couple of breaths, we're going to come back. And I invite you to just feel your hands, maybe wiggle your fingers, and feel your feet on the ground, and wiggle your toes, and gently open your eyes. Okay. So now in the chat, it would be great if you could tell me what is on your mind today and what is potentially bothering you. What would you like to tap on? And then as we start tapping, I will show you some of the points. I hope you can see this. And we're going to follow those points as we tap. So another thing before we start is sometimes we don't know what we want to tap on. We have no idea. I've even had clients come to a session and not know what was bothering them. So maybe nothing's bothering you right now, and that's okay. And if that's the case, we're going to kind of prep our brain to let that come up by itself. So I will invite you to do a very quick round of very general high-level tapping. And then we'll talk a little bit more about how do we get specific. But in the meantime, if there are anything that's bothering you right now, just write it down in the chat. I should be able to see your comments with a little bit of delay. All right, thank you. All right, so let's do a round of general tapping. We start on the side of our hands on the karate chop point. And we're just going to tap on the fact that it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right, even though it's Tuesday, sounds silly, but you can do that. Even though it's Tuesday, I accept how I feel right now. You just repeat after me. If you can do it out loud, it's even better, but you can do it just inside your head. And we're going to repeat this 3 times, even though it's Tuesday. I'm okay right now. Even though it's Tuesday and the rest of the week is still ahead of me, I choose to relax. So we did that 3 times. Now we're going to follow the points that hopefully you can see on the slide here. I'm just going to take this off. On top of your head, it's Tuesday. Eyebrow, it's Tuesday today, and there's still the whole week ahead of me. I don't really know what's bothering me. Maybe I'm just a little bit stressed. Because it's Tuesday. I still have the whole week in front of me. And I don't know what to think about that. Under your arm, I don't know what to think about that, but I'm ready to work on it a little bit. So that was just an example of one tapping round. You can take a deep breath, drink some water, and in the chat here, I'm seeing a little bit of overwhelm to know about my future. Some people with family members who are struggling, stress, pain in the neck from overwhelming worries, especially for others around me. So there's a little bit of a theme here of stress, overwhelm, struggling family members, and uncertainty about the future. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through a round of tapping and utilize some of your words, which you can keep going in the chat and add more things as they come up. Before we start, I'm going to ask you to do two things. One is, as you tune into what you're feeling right now, if you could write down, where do you feel it? So Romy is talking about the pain in her neck, but even the overwhelm that you're feeling, or when you're thinking about family members who are struggling, how does it feel in your body? Where do you feel that? And what is the type of pain we're talking about, or discomfort? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Is it in the back of your neck? Left side of your neck, in the chest? Maybe it's the lower back. I always have some tension in my shoulders, like I carry the whole world on my shoulders. So all of that is helpful to focus on where do you feel in your body and what is the quality of that sensation. Is it burning, pulling, pinching, stabbing? So take notes of how that feels. And even if you can find a metaphor for that pain, maybe it's like I've said that in the past, or I've heard it from some clients. Maybe it's a red, spiky ball of fire. As specific as you can be, the better. And as we're going to tap, I'm going to use your sentences here. But what you can do is extend that sentence and that statement to what really happens in you. And then the second thing I'm going to ask you to do is, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate that discomfort or that pain. And it could be a 3, it could be a 5, it could be an 8. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be your assessment of your discomfort. And once we are done tapping, you're going to do it again so that you can see if that things have shifted or not. So let's start. Even though I feel stressed, I deeply and completely accept myself. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to say that sentence, but just try it out. Even if I'm stressed and I have this pain in my neck, I choose to relax now. Even if I have this uncertainty about the future and I feel overwhelmed, I deeply and completely accept myself. Top of your head, this stress. I'm going to keep my glasses or I can't see the comments. This pain in my neck, side of your eye, all these worries under your eye, all this overwhelm, under your nose, for people around me or myself, under your mouth. I feel overwhelmed about my future. I can feel in my neck and my chest and my shoulders. Sometimes I feel constricted and I cannot breathe. Top of your head, all this stress. Eyebrow, all this overwhelm. Side of your eyes. I'm worried, especially for others around me. Under your eye, I'm worried about family members who are struggling. Under your nose, I feel so overwhelmed to know my future. under your mouth. And I can feel this in my chest and my shoulders. And sometimes it's hard to breathe. Under your arm. Sometimes it's hard to breathe. Okay, so that was a first round on all these things that are happening. So if you be willing, let us know in the chat. How are things evolving? Did something move? Did the intensity go down? Did something new come up? So things that can come up that are new are a different location of pain or discomfort, a thought, a memory, something that just maybe like a blink of a memory that seems totally unrelated. If that's the case, please write it down in your notes. They are very relevant because your brain is actually popping out some old memories or some things that are related in your brain unconsciously, even if consciously it makes no sense. All right, so Maggie had a little bit got stronger intensity, so we can work a little bit on that. And maybe again, tune into this intensity. Where is it in your body? What is the quality of that? Take a deep breath. All right. Even though the intensity got stronger, maybe it didn't go stronger for all of you, but that's okay. We're doing what we call borrowing benefits. As we tap for someone in the group, it also helps you, whether you tap on their symptoms or you tap on yours. You can change. That is interesting. It got stronger for everybody. So it can change and help you regardless of if you're stating things that relate exactly to you or not. That's what we call borrowing benefits. Even though this feeling is more intense and stronger, I choose to relax right now. Even though the intensity is stronger, and I may have remembered something about my past, or I may have a new sensation, I choose to explore this a little bit further today. Even though things are getting stronger, I recognize it's shifting, and I choose to relax now. The intensity got stronger. It got stronger. Something came up again about my marriage. Maybe I have even more uncertainty about the future. Under your nose, I can feel it in my chest. Under your mouth, I can feel it in my neck. I can feel it in my chest. I can feel it in my shoulders. Under your arms, it got stronger. And I choose to relax anyway. Top of your head, my body is telling me something. This feeling got intense. Maybe I got some new thoughts. I can feel it so intensely in my chest or my neck. I choose to explore this a little bit further today. Under your mouth, because right here, right now, I am safe. Right here, right now, I am safe. under your arm. And a part of me is okay. All right. Take a deep breath. So what's going on? I'd like to get a little bit more specific here, if you can, in the chat. What is this? Is this intensity still there to start with? And then is there something new that came up? Is it in a different place in your body? What is the intensity on it on the scale of 1 to 10? I'll just take that. Unless you want the points, you let me know. I'm just going to leave them out. I will also offer to say, I remember the agony of my marriage up until now. Even though I remember the agony of my marriage and it feels so intense, I am safe right here, right now. Even though I still have this intensity about the agony of my marriage, I choose to relax right here, right now. This agony I will offer some statements here. It was a long time ago and I still remember the agony. Even though I've worked on this, I still feel the intensity of this agony. And I choose to relax anyway. I can feel all that agony in my chest and my neck. And I call onto my body to help me out. Because my body has healing abilities. And maybe I can just choose to relax right here, right now. And yes, when you are just a little bit of a side here while we keep tapping, sometimes when things are really intense, first you want to keep tapping. We don't have to repeat sentences if it's too strong. And one thing you can do is then switch to, well, tap on the point that you feel comfortable with. I'm tapping on my head right now, but you can just tap on your collarbones and just stay there for a little bit, or you can even massage the sensitive points right here on top of the chest. And then, as Maggie said, repeating to yourself right here, right now, I am safe. That's a very good way to send a signal to your brain that you are safe right here, right now, because you're tapping in front of me and in front of a computer or a phone, which means you're not in immediate danger. So you can relax and you can take that time to resource yourself. Right here, right now, I am safe has been very effective for me too. All right, let's keep going. Even though it's intense because I don't know how to solve the unsolvable, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though my marriage is strange enough, and I worry for my family members, I deeply and completely accept myself. If you be willing, you can even say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. It can be hard to say. With time, it comes back. You allow yourself to say these things more and more. It's a practice. Even though the intensity stayed at a 7, I don't know how to solve the unsolvable. I choose to relax right here, right now. All this intensity, I worry for others around me. And I don't know how to solve the unsolvable. Under your eyes, how do I solve the unsolvable? If it's unsolvable, how can I solve it? And today, I choose to let a part of me help me out. Maybe it is solvable. So we're going to do a little trick here. Repeat after me, even if it feels really weird. It is unsolvable. Top of your head. It has always been unsolvable. Eyebrow. It will always be unsolvable. Side of your eye. It will always be solvable. Under your eye. It has always been solvable. Under your nose. But it's unsolvable. Under your mouth. It's always solvable. Collarbone. Unsolvable. Under your arm. Solvable. Always unsolvable. Eyebrow. Always solvable. I don't know how to solve it. I've never known how to solve it. I've always known how to solve it. I will never be able to solve it. I've always been able to solve it. And right here, right now, I am safe. These things with my family, whether it's my marriage or other family members, whether it's agony or just pure worry of not being able to solve anything. And right here, right now, I'm safe. Under your arm. And right here, right now, I can explore some solutions. Okay. Take a deep breath. Maybe take a sip of water. And what's going on right now? Has anything come up? A new discomfort? Is the level less intense now? What is the intensity on a scale of 1 to 10? And have there been anything coming up? Yes. Okay. Yeah, tears are good. It means you're processing something. So I'm glad the intensity is lower. That means it's shifting. Tears are fine. What is the good? What is the feeling? Is that sadness? Is that shame? Is that regrets? Whatever it is. And it's okay. You don't have to necessarily put it in the chat, although if you put it in the chat, I can be more specific during the tapping. But this is where we want to go into it a little bit. Unless you are totally overwhelmed and you can't even speak because you're crying out loud, not crying out loud, you're crying so much that you can't even speak, in which case I would then say, just tap on the point that you really love and just say, right here, right now, I'm safe. So you can lower the intensity. But if it's a moderate intensity, go into it, feel it, locate it in your body. Feel its intensity, its quality, its color, its shape. How would you describe it if it was a metaphor? What type of animal is it? Does it remind you of something from your past? And if some memory came back, any type of memory, just deep dive into it. Sink into it. Even though I feel some tears coming up, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though the intensity is lower, but I feel those tears coming up, I accept to explore this a little bit further today. Even though I would like to find acceptance, and I'm not sure how, I deeply and completely accept myself. Acceptance. Trying to find acceptance. Understanding that some of it is out of my power. Not much I can do about it. I worry for the people around me, but what can I do? Acceptance. Accepting that I may not have power over this. Acceptance. Acceptance about what's going on for my family members. Is it in my power to fix? Part of me wants to fix it. A big part of me wants to fix it. And maybe I can accept that a part of me cannot fix it. Maybe a part of me doesn't want to fix it. I accept it's not in my power. Or maybe it is in my power. We're going to trick the brain again. Maybe it's always been in my power. Maybe it's never been in my power. Maybe I will never be able to fix it. I just need to accept it. A part of me wants to accept it as it is. Part of me doesn't. Either way, that's okay. Because right here, right now, I'm safe. Right here, right now, I'm safe. All right, take a deep breath. And what's going on now? And is there any new thought coming up for either of you? Interesting. I will ask you a question. Yes, agree. Releasing these emotions and some tears are actually a very good thing. It's like clearing things up. It's like the tears are holding some of that negative energy and you just release it. So the numbness, I'm very interested in that. What is that about? When is the last time, or when is the first time that you felt numb? Numb is a very specific feeling and emotion. Numb is a defense mechanism. It's a survival. So I'd be very curious as to what came up there. Any sort of memory or recollection of when did you feel numb like this in the past? I'll give you an example, very personal example, and then we can tap on that for a little bit if you want. Numbness is a very powerful way of not feeling pain. The first time I felt numb, actually the second time. I was 10 years old when I lost my dad. And the first ever reaction I had was to feel entirely numb. All right, realized it when my child was in treatment, yes. It was something I had been feeling a lot while advocating for him. Feeling numb while advocating for him, you mean? And hopefully you keep tapping as you're doing all this. Keep going with your comments. I'm just going to go around. Even though I feel numb, even though I feel a bit numb, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have all these worries and I feel numb right now, it's like I'm numb with my own feelings. I choose to relax right here, right now. Even though I remember feeling numb while advocating for my child, I choose to relax and accept how I feel. Top of your head, I am numb with my own feelings. All these things happening with my family members, and I feel numb. Just a bit numb. Not knowing how to fix things. Understanding some of this is out of my power. And I choose to relax about this right now. I choose to accept that it's okay to be numb. It's okay to be numb. It's okay to accept this messy, unhealthy situation. Even if that makes me numb. Even when that means not having the power. Accepting the situation as it is. I'll venture some statements here and you can change them if that doesn't work for you. Accepting things are not perfect. Accepting things are not perfect in my family. Accepting to be numb from time to time. Part of me just want to stay safe. Part of me just want to stay safe. And so sometimes a part of me chooses to be numb. And that's okay. I've been feeling it for a while advocating for my child. And I did manage to get the help I knew he needed. But it's messy. And when I accept the messiness, it makes me become numb. Maybe if I accept the situation, I lose power. What does it tell me when I lose power? All this stress and the overwhelming worries for the family members around me, my child and my marriage. Acceptance, power, accepting to relax now. All right. So, how do we feel now? Keep taking notes of what's going on and how things are shifting. Go back to how you feel in your body. Where do you feel that stress and overwhelm and that worry? And what is the intensity on 1 to 10 so that you can kind of follow your own evolution through this. And why that is important is because when we tap and something releases, we actually forget very quickly how we felt at the beginning. So putting that intensity down on paper helps realize, oh yeah, it was actually a 9 and now it's a 7 or a 5. So there are things shifting, but our brain kind of moves on very quickly, and then we forget what progress we've made. So I don't want to spend more than an hour, so I want to make sure we close before the top of the hour. What we do at the end of tapping is wrap things up so that we end on a more positive note and we continue letting our body help us out over the next few days. What we did right here, right now, today in this session, you might not feel anything about it. You might not feel different. But after 2-3 days, maybe a week or even more, you might still feel some shifts. You might have some memories come up. You might have some sadness and tears come up. Write them down, take notes. And what we're going to do right now is wrap it up so that we end up on a positive note and feel safe about it. So, on the side of your hand, even though I have worked on some of these emotions today, yeah, and it does shift physically too. So that's always interesting to keep track of that and chase it in a way. Even though it's Tuesday and there's still a whole week ahead of me, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I explored some of these strong emotions today and some of this pain, my chest and my neck, some of it shifted, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And even though the intensity went down a little bit, it's still a 7 or a 6. And I am grateful for the work I did anyway. Top of your head, all this stress, all these worries, and it's only Tuesday. All this overwhelm about my future, more my family members, all these things that I can control and the ones I cannot control. This power I have to change things or not change things. And the numbness. And the uncertainties. I am grateful for all the work I do. All the work I do as a family member, as a mom, as a wife or ex-wife. I recognize my value. I recognize my power. I am grateful for all the things I've achieved. And a part of me is hopeful for the future. And even if I haven't solved everything today, I am grateful for exploring anyway. And I ask my body to help me out. I am grateful for my body and its healing abilities. And a part of me chooses to let my body help me out. In the meantime, all of these worries and that stress, I'm going to put in a container. So here's where you can use your imagination and choose a container of your choice, whether it's a capsule, it's made of glass, of wood, it's a box, maybe it's a safe, maybe it's a space shuttle. And you imagine that container, what it's made of, its color, its shape, what's written on it, how you lock it, or how you close it, and you put everything that you haven't solved today in it. And then you decide where you want to put that. Do you want to put it on the desk next to you? Do you want to put it on the shelves in the other house? Do you want to bury it in the ground in Asia? Do you want to send it to Mars or even further out in the universe? You use your imagination to do whatever you want there, making sure that all the things unsolved are tight in this container at service to you, and you put as much distance in time and space as you want. And now that I've chosen this container, and I have put some distance between me and the container, I choose to relax now. I am hopeful for this Tuesday and the rest of this week. And if ever and whenever I'm ready, I can always choose to go back to the container. But right here, right now, I have put some distance with all of these worries and stress. And I feel safe. Right here, right now, I am safe. And I look forward to the week. All right. Take a deep breath. Take some water. Make sure to drink good amount of water today. And take notes of anything that comes up so that you see how the shifts are happening. And if you want to comment back in a few days and say how you feel after this session, then don't hesitate. If you want to speak privately with me, send me a WhatsApp, a text message, whatever works for you. I'm happy to go a little bit further. And if you were overwhelmed at any time, it's always a good thing to reach out, and we can take care of that on the side offline. All right, it was great to see you. I didn't see you technically, but it was great to have you in the tapping circle, and we'll do that again. And thank you so much for your trust. Bye. Happy Tuesday.